Scott, thanks for the apology. Accepting the apology. Who can forget? You're not going to forget anything unless you lose your memory. I'm not going to forget the gazillions of people that have slandered my name and accused me of being a liar and rightfully so has called me a false prophet because I predicted things that didn't happen. So be it. False? I'm not. I'm not false. Did I get predictions wrong? Yup. And did I get some right? Well, I believe I did, but again, I've heard it before. Wars and rumors of wars have been going on forever. It's just, it's not a lie either. That's the thing. That's the problem with when it finally does come around. I just don't remember them. I don't remember all these people sitting and talking about peace and shaking hands and everything in the world because they said it like this is the first time ever that Trump has ever or anybody has shook the hand of North Korea guy, whatever the hell his name is. But it's neither here nor there, or so on and so forth. Because I don't care anymore about dates. Because I think we're just running out of dates. What else is there? There's nothing. The 70-year prophecy, if anybody believes in the Bible, there's a 70-year prophecy until something happens. I just watch certain channels and different people and get the vibe from what's going on, and you know that this year is just it's the change, everybody seems to believe Richie. I believe him 90% of the time. I really do. That's why I watched him a lot in the beginning, and then I said I'd watch him. I lied. Okay, I guess that's why I'm a liar, because I changed my mind. I said I was going to watch him from here on out. I watch a couple. I just can't. It's just because I don't know. I have my own. I have my own opinions that I need to get out there. Sometimes I just don't have time to watch other people's channels, and then now that I open up the comments section, it takes up some more time too to try to get back to people. But I'm not playing games here. I'm not playing. This isn't some kind of please forgive me and then but I really have this hidden agenda, and I'm gonna pull the rug out from underneath you and then psych. Nah, man. Look, I don't know, whatever. But time goes by, however much time is left, I just don't feel like there's much. That's just me. So I'm reaching out to everybody because, let's say there is time left. Let's say nothing happens at all. Then what harm is it that you reach out to people? And make amends. Or am I clinging to you with flatteries? Nah, that's been done to me a lot. It still is. But it's all good anymore. I honestly I don't care. And I don't care if people are agents. Because I said it before, agents are people too. It's just when you got people that are troublemakers. Like, Scott, I'm sure you understand. If you got people that are troublemakers in your comment section, you're going to delete them. If disagreeing with you is one thing, okay? But when it gets to the name calling and disrespecting, it's not that it's something that's offensive to me. It's just that there's no place anymore for that, because I already opened up that door. I mean, I've allowed everybody. People are talking so much shit, that just cursing up a storm about everything, and the slimiest things you can say. And then on top of that, cloning my picture and my name, my account, and putting young half-naked girls on there. I didn't click on the video, but you click when that account was mimicking mine, and I clicked on it because it was commenting as me. Remember when they were taking over my channel to try to comment as me? And I even went back and forth with whoever is responsible for it. I have my suspicion of who it is, but it's only a suspicion, so I'll just keep it to myself. But at times it was funny talking to myself, right? But until I clicked on because I thought it was going to go to my channel, but it went to their channel, and I seen the videos that were up there, and it's like, man, this freaking, come on, man. So, I mean, I can hold on to grudges if I wanted to, but I don't want to. That's the thing. Man, being angry, staying angry at anybody, it is absolutely draining. It just is draining to try to stay angry. I can't. But no, this is just me reaching out to everybody towards the end here. I feel like it's the end. But it's not the end. It's not. Again, you said it right. People do twist your words, Scott. They twist words and just misinterpret what you're saying. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Okay. So, but as we know it, as I know it, I feel awesome as I know it. As other people know it and hear it, they don't feel fine. They feel, well, nobody really wants to hear that the world's coming to an end. I remember that back when the other false prophet from the cult tree that I came from, the Harold Camping false prophet cult tree. When he was talking about these dates and the end of the world, and it didn't come, and nothing happened, and nobody's seen anything, and we understood anything spiritually. Yeah, of course he's going to be called a false prophet. It's just the way it is. But, when you listen to somebody every day, you can kind of tell how they handle situations. And I remember people calling into open forum. There were trolls that called in. Look, man, he just handled them the way he was supposed to, like a man of God would. And so he set some dates and nobody's seen anything happen. And I'm just continuing the same thing. But I feel like I set my last date. I really do. I feel like that this year, as I said almost the beginning of this year, about 2019, either way, it's going to be a major change. Major change. Now, as far as SJD goes, I mean, I'm still being accused of, being in contact with him all the time. Now, this is the reason why he's still talking about me on the videos. With I tried to just click whoever sent a link that went to the spam box, and I clicked on that link, and I think I watched like the first 5 minutes. I mean, he can go to my history account, and look at it, but what it comes down to is this. I was talking to him, right? I did the video. It's still up. Make a stand for SJD on July 1st. Once I did that, that's when all this other stuff started and everybody started turning against each other. It was purposed that way. And even before that, when I first started to make fun of RFB, I got a lot of people's attention. People came over here, they thought it was funny. But I also got my life threatened. The guy literally had the account on YouTube that I showed the cops. They didn't do shit, man. You know what I mean? Because they can't do shit. Not right at this moment. Are laws going to be changed? Yeah, I believe what Richie said about the laws being changed and people don't even know that they're committing felonies. And he probably has like, I don't know, 777 felonies listed with me already. And you might too, you know? You might too. And I'm sure that the laws are going to be changed where but here's the thing. I can record everybody's videos too and have all the stuff that was said about me. But what good is that going to do? It's just, I don't get offended with it. It's just whatever. Sometimes people just need to get it's an outlet. They just need to let it out. But as far as SJD, Stephen James Deshawn, I talked to him probably, how many times, Steve? Like maybe 7 to 10 different times on the phone. Skype, right? Face to face. And he talked for a while. He talked a lot. And I listened. And I believed half of what he was saying. But I wasn't arguing with him about it. I'm just listening. He has a lot of knowledge. He does understand a lot about the Bible. I just think he has one thing wrong. He's not the only one that has Christ inside of him. And it goes along with understanding scriptures. Christ is inside of all of us. It's just we haven't all woken up yet to realize that Jesus Christ, who already rose, he's not coming back as a single man this time around. It just doesn't even make sense. He already did that. He rises up in individual people. Some first, some last. So when it comes to 144,000, and when it comes to SJD saying that he's Jesus Christ, well, he's not. Jesus Christ, you know, I guess here's what happened with SJD and myself. When he would call or text, and I didn't feel like talking to him because I knew that I'd be there for 3 hours, right? And then I would see, because my phone is always on silent. I can't stand the sound of the phone ringing because of the career that I used to have. This career here. This is what I took to the job fair when I went back to my old school and trying to recruit people. But before all this started happening, I was into that to try to get people and recruit them. And my phone rang all the time because I always have to deal with, because I'm the one in charge. And so anyway, I turn it down. The recorder is turned down. I mean, not the when I record, the notifications, everything is turned off. So when somebody calls, I don't know they call until I look at my phone. Somebody text message, I don't know. People say, well, what if it's an emergency? What if it's someone died? Then I'm going to get to it when I get to it. You know, what happened before when there were no phones. But when I wouldn't answer, you know, he started to do this. It's like, it reminds me of how the trolls on YouTube, how they talk when they want you to respond. And what happened was, some of the responses were like, oh, obviously you're ignoring me and you don't want to talk to me, and just it's like, wait a minute, are you like my ex-girlfriend or something, my kid's mom? Like, and that's how it sounded to me, okay? Just to me. And, you know, these are all just my opinions. And if people get offended with my opinions, that's on them for allowing words that come out of my mouth, who I am absolutely nobody but one person on earth. A single individual right here. And so it got to a point where basically he invited himself to my house for the holidays or something. And I didn't invite him to my house. Beforehand, I talked about meeting up with people. I was actually going to go to his house, but some weird anomaly happened because I don't leave my house unattended, because I know that as soon as you leave and your house is unattended, they come in. It's just a fact. And so something happened where my kid's grandma was going to come stay here too, but she got really sick that day and she couldn't, and she was crying about it because she couldn't. And we were getting ready to go. Me and my wife were going to head up to Michigan and see SJD and just talk to him face to face. Instead, I went and met Justin because he's closer a couple weeks later. So what started to happen was he kind of started to get a little bit too comfortable with actually believing that I think he is Jesus Christ in the flesh. And because he's never truly said that he is, he just said other things that made it seem like it. And do I believe that we have lived before our spirits continued on? It's a possibility. But if I say yeah, some people will be like, oh my God, Robin, thumbs down. If I say I don't, well then I have a closed mind, because how the hell do I know what God does with souls? But it got down to the point where I had to just tell him, like, look, man, I don't feel like talking to anybody anymore. With long, drawn-out private conversations, I'm just tired of it. And it got to a point where I started getting insulted. I started to, I got threatened too. The threat was, after like 1,500 text messages the one night about, you know, like, it just reminds me of my kid's mom when she would text me 1,000,000 times. It just constantly, and call. So me and the phone, I hate the phone. It makes me sick. Okay, if I wasn't doing YouTube, this phone would not even be near me. But the threat was, because I got back to him the next morning after he texted me 1,000,000 times and called me and just trying to explain things to me. I just don't want to hear it anymore, because I know what I feel in my heart, and I don't have to prove to anybody. And once I got back, that's when he said something along the lines of, I have the text message still, unless it somehow got deleted, but I'm not going to show all the messages, but I'm just going to give you a rundown of what my encounter with SJD is. Well, he said, well, good, I'm glad you got back to me, because if you didn't, it would have been a train wreck. And I'm thinking, well, and I even said it to him, like, you know, I don't think Jesus would talk to anybody like that, my Lord. And so testing his spirit from that time on, because once everybody came against me, I said, make a stand for SJD. It was my way of testing his spirit. I already had my suspicion from the gate, man, with everybody from the gate. Changing his name 1,000,000 times with his 2 different accounts. I can't even change my name 3 times in a year, basically. So that was red flag number 1 to me. And then, you know, I don't believe that Jesus Christ is coming back in a flesh, singular flesh, but he's coming back in the flesh, multiple, That's what I believe. Not one man. Does he have a lot of knowledge? Absolutely. Very, very intelligent when it comes to Scripture. However, he's still looking at some things literally, like as if he's literally the first Adam and the last, and Elijah and Moses and John the Baptist and David, King David, and the suffering servant and Jesus Christ himself. Okay, he's looking at that literally, and hey, I had to tell him, I had to tell him, just stop calling me, stop texting me. I don't want to talk anymore. So the forceful demon, there's a forceful demon that appears, and when I feel like I'm being forced to do something, that person is trying to take over my will and impose his will on me. And that's where I drew the line. And then I shut the comment section off pretty much right after, about a couple weeks after that, because everybody started coming against it. I was just like, you know what? I'm shutting you guys up. No more. I don't want to hear the chatter, the demons. And then I got bombarded with all kinds of mail, catalogs, and also at the same time, that same day when he was talking about a train wreck happening, I interpreted it. Okay, this is how I interpret a train wreck. You're going to be stalked severely. Okay, even more than usual. And I noticed from that point on, I was stalked severely from that point on. Exactly how I interpret it. But how do I know if he's responsible for it or not? How do I know? How can I prove anything? You can't prove anything. You just go by what your heart says. That's all. And there's a lot of soothsayers these days, and I truly believe that SJD is not some kind of chump. I don't think he's I just don't think he is who he says he is. And I have a right to have that opinion that comes from my heart, my gut, and a little bit of common sense that, God gives you. Am I being gang stalked? Yeah, I am. And I embrace it now because they need to follow the leaders. They need to. If you don't understand gang stalking, well, just look it up. Google it. Gang stalking FBI jobs. They pay very well. 24 hours to 45 hours an hour, and I mean that's pretty good. No experience necessary. You can just be whoever, and you can be one. So that's pretty much my story with Steve, and but at the same time, I don't care who I'm commenting to anymore. I don't care if it's an agent that works for YouTube and claims that they're not. I don't care if it's a troll account and acts like they're not. It's just when it gets disrespectful, that's when I just cut off the voice of that account, and then they got to make up another one and try to cling to me with flatteries, and then eventually they slither their way in there and they start asking some troublemaking questions. I can sense the trouble ahead. And again, because it's my channel, I have every right in the world to just delete it. Get rid of it. So, I feel like I understand the script as to what's going on in the world here. And I don't know how anybody can't already. How anybody can't understand that everything that is going on is an agenda to depopulate us. So, I kind of came across Genesis between, I think it's chapter 7 and 9 and 10, I believe, when it talks about the flood, and remember that it'll be the same as it was in the days of Noah. That's what I believe. And towards the end, after the flood, after the 40 days, after the 7 days of the warning of getting there, and then the waters abated, and then he stayed other 7 days, and other 7 days, and after that, and then it's like talking about I believe it's Genesis, right? Well, I'm not that certain, but it's talking about the men on earth basically started to create peace, like the ones that are coming against us, which is the elite. And unless people are a part of the elite and they're on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that are, that the elite's children. But I'm reaching out to even the elite's children to let them know that God, the Creator, He does love you because He created you, or else He wouldn't have. He either created you or he wouldn't have. He don't. Who cares? But what I see, you know, my vision that I see is that we are all going to get along, and I'm not forcing anyone to say I'm sorry for anything. I'm not forcing anyone to accept my apology for what I did. That's completely up to God, completely in His hands. But what I feel like the message is that I'm receiving from God, the message, not a voice, not anything other than, not a literal vision seeing things in front of me, just what I feel like He's trying to speak to me through my heart is this: peace is coming. It's going to happen in a way that nobody is expecting, except for maybe 144,000 people. Because that's the way it seems like right now. Because there's a lot of people, you know, I wonder sometimes, are they, here's my question about SJD. Is he just delusional because he thinks that he's Jesus Christ? Or does he know that he's not, and that all of us are the body of Christ, and that each man's head is the head of Christ? It's just there's people that are still empty-headed, and the abomination, desolation is standing in their holy place, the temple, up here, until Satan puts the fear of God in them, because that's what God told Satan to do. He created them for that reason. To choose good or bad. To know evil. We all know evil now, okay? And I don't want it anymore. So I'm done with Satan's influence, and I'm done with his dominions and his demons that they constantly attack. I mean, and it's not that, when I talk about demons and people, even in your family members, it's not that these people, it's not that they're evil. It's just demons find a way to, if you're not aware of it, they find a way to just travel inside of you. And when they're done with you, or when they know that you're going to be done with them, they pre-plan their next victim. And then they recycle. They just keep recycling and recycling. They don't travel through me, okay? That's why they use other people, because I understand them. I slay them with the word of God in a split second, because I understand them, and they understand me too, and they flee from the noise when it proceeds out of someone's mouth and the words are Jesus Christ, not SJD. Okay? So I just want to put this out there clearly. It's no disrespect to SJD. It's just I don't know one way or the other. Is he delusional? Does he truly think that? Which means he would be deceived? Or does he truly know that he's not and he's just playing a role? You know what I mean? You weigh out, like, which one is it? Does he get offended when I say that? Yeah. Yeah, he does. But I don't think Jesus gets offended. I don't think Jesus gets offended at all. It's just not the way, it's not Christ-like. In other words, I don't get offended either. And I'm trying to be Christ-like. So why would someone who says that they're Jesus Christ in the flesh talk about not forgiving people? He doesn't have to. He's going to judge you, and it's perfectly fine with the Father. And, you know, I'm finding holes in just the common sense of love in your heart. Absolute love in your heart. How many times are you supposed to forgive people, SJD? Who says that? Who asked that in the Bible? Which disciple or which person was trying to trip Christ up? Didn't he say, forgive your brother 7 times? And then 7 times, 77 gazillion times? In other words, it meant a complete amount of time. Always. Every single time, forgive your fellow brother. Every time. It's just the way it is. Because are you going to go to God and ask him to forgive you when you're not forgiving this person? Now I understand it's different when someone's constantly doing it then God has a way to chastise that person. That way when they ask, they truly mean it. And they're not just trying to placate you. So I'm not trying to placate you, Scott. This is me. This is me. I'm real, okay? I keeps it real, you know what I'm saying? And I like to lighten it up a little bit, and I like to joke around sometimes, but I'm just not in a joking mood today. I'm kind of tired, actually. I want to go to bed. I wasn't even going to do this, but I watched your video, and I see that you're still kind of in accusation mode, as if I talk to SJD all the time. We're all in cahoots and everybody. Man, I roll alone, man. And if you were an agent, like I said, or a gang stalker, you would know that for a fact. But because you don't know that, it proves that you're not an agent or a gang stalker.